What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Whiskey Dixon.
Howdy, folks.
Sugarbear,
Mikey.
we're reviewing Dewars.
Dewars.
Ilegal smooth Mezcal finish blended Scotch whiskey.
Besides Scotch, Mezcal is like number 2 for me.
Really?
Yeah.
I also enjoy Mezcal.
It's
that smoke.
Oh, yeah.
It's so similar to Scotch. Like it's that vegetal.
Yeah.
It's smoky vegetable matter. Like that's essentially what peat is, and that's essentially what Mezcal is. For those of you who don't know what Mezcal is,
It's got worms.
potentially it can have worms, but
So we're gonna call it.
more than that, it's tequila that's not made in Jalisco. It's just made outside of Jalisco, Mexico, and it doesn't have to be made with blue agave. It can be made with any sort of agave, and so with
How many different kinds of agave?
a lot, apparently. Yeah, apparently there's a lot. Not only are there a lot, some of them are wild. Like, they can't be grown in fields. They have to actually go out and, like, find them in the mountains and shit. And, like,
Wonder if it's like they like the harsh conditions.
yeah, maybe.
You know,
certain ones do. Yeah, they have to, like, hike up a mountain to find a certain type of agave or something. Those are, like, the real expensive mezcals, the really hard to source agave plants. But some of them take a lot longer to mature. They're really hard. Their heart is really hard, and so when they chop all the leaves, not leaves, but whatever,
Things,
the things, the
phalanges.
spike, whatever you would call those. When they chop those off, they gotta roast that heart of that mezcal a lot longer than like a blue agave plant. So that's where the smoke comes from. They gotta roast it to get it soft. And
okay, I got you.
yeah, so
That's kind of like ginger, though. Ginger grows in extremely harsh conditions.
yeah,
and rocks.
exactly.
Yeah.
There's certain agave species that you can only find in certain regions, and they only grow wild. But this isn't mezcal. This is Scotch. It's Scotch aged in a cask that used mezcal. And what's interesting is you do have an age statement here. It's 8 years, which is not bad. It could be older, but for $25, I'm not complaining.
I'd buy that.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I'd buy that for $1.
100%. And as far as I know, this is the first like mezcal finish whiskey I've ever seen.
Oh,
this
no,
is like a
definitely,
very new thing. I would say mezcal is kind of a new thing. It's something I didn't know about until maybe like a year or two ago. And
I just always thought it was gonna be gross because there's a nasty worm or whatever's in it. I mean,
there's not always a worm. Most of them don't have worms.
But that's what I was worried about.
Yeah, no, my first experience with mezcal was a bottle with a worm in it. That's what I thought mezcal was. I thought it was just tequila with a worm in it.
It's tequila fermented from worm.
No, but I mean, if you haven't had mezcal, try it. Especially if you're a fan of like peaty, smoky Scotch, because it's gonna taste so familiar to you. Because it's that same profile. So on the nose, Mike's already drinking, but whatever.
Yeah, sorry.
On the nose, very classic Dewars nose that I have a hard time describing. To be honest, there's a distinct sweetness that applies directly to Dewars.
It's like the Macallan taste, but it's
Dewars.
Dewars,
Almost
yeah.
like sweet, like a beer or something, like sweet and
low. No, it's not.
Sweet and malty, like barley, like sweet barley. Little hint of mezcal smoke. Little hint.
Almost a hint of a worm.
Oh, a little, about a worm's worth.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pleasant. Excuse me.
Very pleasant.
It's pleasant. Yes. Top shelf. No, like mid shelf.
For the price, it's good. No, honestly, for 25 or under, it's hard to do better than this right now. I'd say in the realm of Scotch.
Yeah.
For the price,
I agree.
This is totally awesome. Classic Dewar sweetness.
So I'm
Hint of mezcal smoke on the finish.
I'm pretty sure we already went over this. Yeah, it's Scotland. Where did they get these mezcal bottles?
The cask, it's from Ilegal, which is the brand of mezcal.
Oh, I thought it was. Oh.
Yeah, it's not illegal.
Yeah,
I know. That's what I thought at first, but I was like, wait a minute, they spelled it wrong. That's because
they stole it from the Mexicans.
There's a distillery in Mexico called Ilegal, which I'm assuming means illegal in Spanish. I mean, I don't know. That seems way too close not to mean that, but
I think it means legal.
Of course. Crack the code. No, but that's where they get the cask from. That's hence the name. It is very smooth for 8 years too. It's actually really smooth. Believe I went over the proof, 80 proof.
Yeah.
$25.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
Definitely.
Pretty classic Dewars territory. I mean, you're talking sweet barley, a little bit of a buttery grain sort of note in there, and then the finish is the only difference is the finish. You do get a little bit of that mezcal smoke, a little bit of like a sweeter, more vegetal smoke as opposed to peat. It's not briny or ocean tasting, you know. It's like a sweet smoke.
You know, I quite honestly think this is better than the regular Dewars.
I agree. No, this is one of my favorite Dewars I've had in a while.
I had a pretty rough night with the regular Dewars, so.
We all have.
Yeah.
Everyone who drinks Dewars has had a rough night with Dewars. I feel like that should be their slogan.
Yeah, Dewars. You'll have
Dewars. Everyone has a bad experience with it.
But please keep buying our whiskey.
We do. I hate to say, I do keep buying it.
Yeah.
It's because the price.
Yeah.
And once again, that is very much reflected here. It's really good, and it's cool to see. Like, I've never really seen other Dewars like a cask finish, you know, like a Dewars aged in a certain cask, and so I've also never ever seen a mezcal cask. That's a very new thing, and so
like from any other.
No, I've never seen mezcal aged whiskey ever.
I hope that starts happening because that'd be.
Oh, it will. I guarantee this is going to start a whole new series because I'd love to see like single malts, like good quality single malts aged in a. I think this is the experiment. You know, they're like, let's use a whiskey that is not overly expensive. Let's see how it behaves in a mezcal cask, and then we'll probably start seeing some single malts because this is good. This is actually really good for the price.
After having this, I want to like keep an eye out for like mezcal distilleries that purchase like a Scotch barrel.
Yeah, or vice versa. Yeah, they're gonna start trading barrels back and forth probably.
Not like an actual like a barrel. I mean like a barrel of liquid from Scotland to put in their mezcal barrels down in Mexico, see if that flavor,
that would be
if
cool.
it's different. That's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna look out for that.
Or if they start sending
Mexican Scotch,
peated, like barrels that held really heavily peated Scotch to Mexico to age their mezcal, and that would also be really interesting. The peat and mezcal are pretty similar. They that mezcal smoke, the real smoky mezcal.
Smoke,
They have that similar vegetal smokiness. Some people describe it as burnt tires for those who don't really
Band-Aids,
enjoy it, or Band-Aids.
Finger paint.
But when you think about it, you know, a burnt tire is rubber that comes from a tree, so it is kind of like vegetable matter. Like that's why they share that similar smoke flavor, which doesn't sound good, but it is. It's one of those things that grows on you, and you almost like crave it in whiskeys. Like that's what you want your whiskey to taste like. Yeah. Other than that, I don't know. Dewars. Very established brand. It's considered the most award-winning Scotch ever. I think they have like 500 plus awards.
At what point do you just stop like competing?
Who cares at that point?
You got
That's so
500.
many. That's so many.
Yeah. Fact check us.
Another interesting fun fact about Dewars. You ever heard of Andrew Carnegie, like Carnegie Hall, or the steel tycoon from like the 1800s? Yeah. So when James Garfield was elected as president, Andrew Carnegie, because he's Scottish, he's a Scottish immigrant, he had a whole barrel of Dewars sent to the White House for James Garfield as like an inauguration gift. And they did the same thing 8 years later when Benjamin Harrison was elected as president. So that's pretty cool. Just get a whole barrel of Scotch.
Happy presidency.
Here you go. You're going to need this. Yeah. Hopefully this will last you the next 4 or 8 years.
Well, I think we should try and keep an eye out for those. See if they have any bottled.
Oh, imagine how much those bottles would be. Presidential.
Yeah.
That'd be nuts. That'd be so cool. Maybe they're I bet in that National Treasure Vault they have under the White House.
National Treasure.
Those barrels are there.
In the secret room.
I wouldn't even care about the gold. I would just go straight for the barrels that have been hiding under the. Oh, that'd be so sick.
Let me go with you. You get the barrels, I'll get the gold.
God, I hope Nicolas Cage is watching this.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage, come on, man.
I know it's up to you to make these movies. So you're behind all of it. So no, he's not. But that would be tight. Yeah, I don't know. Other than that, final thoughts. Hey. It's good for the price.
Pleasantly
Right, I mean-
surprised at how it tastes.
It's super smooth.
I mean, you
It
said
goes
Dewars,
down
and I was
nothing.
like, bad night. But
Yeah, I agree.
Mezcal though, yeah.
I love mezcal, and
Yeah.
it's really cool to see someone aging whiskey in a mezcal cask. It works. It totally
I cannot wait to see the future of
it
that.
totally makes sense to do this.
Well,
If you like this, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, give us a thumbs up. Let us know what other stuff you want to see us review. We might do other
share
Dewars,
us,
but
yeah. Tell your friends.
I don't know. Dewars is just kind of just okay. This is great. Buy this one.
Yeah.
A lot of the other ones, I don't know, to me, they're just alright.
Just do it.
Dewar.
Do it.
Dewars.
Oh yeah, that too.
And until, I'm Sugarbear,
Mikey.
And until next time, cheers, slancha, salud, and keep
Salud.
on drinking.
CC.